Yes, that is snow outside my window. It snowed for the first time here in Western Mass yesterday. I live in a vehicle. Winter is a big deal for me. That's my cue to start doing all of my winter prep. If you live in a van, you're gonna be cold a lot. That's just how it is. In a house, you have heat running like 24 hours a day. I would never do that in the van, especially when I'm not in it. I'll come back to it at the end of a long day. It's gonna be cold. So when it starts to surviving winter, you have to start with your body. The first thing I recommend is getting the perfect coat. When I downsized into van life, I had like a variety of coats for different occasions. Now I just have one. You get under the van a lot, you're gonna get dirty, so you're gonna need a coat that gets a little rough. You also want a coat that has down in it, nothing else, that keeps you nice and warm. And also something, that looks nice enough that you can go out to a nice restaurant or whatever and not look like a bum. The coat I have settled on is this one by North Face. It was kind of pricey, but it is so comfortable. I work in it, I can clean it, I can throw it in a laundromat if I want to. It's just like the perfect coat to me. It took me until my second winter to get that perfect coat. It's taken me until now to get the next best hack, possibly even better than that coat. This is a USB powered heated vest by a company called KEMI MOTO. The way it works is there's a little lithium battery here that you charge in a USB port. Charges for, a couple hours to get to 100%. Fits inside a pocket down here. Now, in my last video, I tried to test this thing out on the trail. I could not get it working because there's a mistake in the instructions. The instructions show the battery as connecting to a cord that's on the exterior left side pocket. That's a mistake. The pocket is actually inside in a little hidden pocket in here. I almost cut the liner with a knife, so they need to fix that in the instructions. But once I got this thing going, this gets so warm right now, folks. I actually have it on green, which is the lowest heat. Red is the highest heat. Blue is a middle. This is the switch right here. And I've gone outside without my coat because this thing gets so warm. If I wear this, I will be shedding layers when I'm outside. I'm liking it a lot so far, I'll tell you that. I also have a discount code. I'll put in my description below. If you want to get one, you can get one super cheap right now, thanks to me. But yeah, the KEMI MOTO heated vest, huge hack. So after keeping your body warm, the next most important thing is your heating systems for your van. I'll show you what I do. So I don't know how well you guys can see it. You should be able to see it. There's an exhaust fan here that goes to an Esperbacher gas furnace. I have a furnace that taps into the fuel tank of the Ford Transit. So when I fill up my car's gas tank, it also fills up my gas as easy as it can possibly be. It burns gas in a little furnace down here, heats up a tub of glycol. That glycol runs through tubes in the floor and wall of my van, gets super warm, also blows hot air into the van. This draws only about a steady 2.5 amps, very low power draw. It's the best type of heating system you can have because all the carbon monoxide spews out here outside, not inside the van. These vents blow the hot air. This one I keep open if I want to get, heat into the cabin. I can close this sometimes because behind it are all of my electronics. If I close it, the heat back there fills up this chamber and the battery bank next door, keeps them warm. I think that's important too. What I have is called hydronic heating. Heating up that glycol, running it through tubes in the floor and the wall. It was an expensive kit to maintain. I'm gonna link to it below if you're considering this conversion, but it is so nice to have a warm heated wall right here in the winter that I can cozy up on next to. It's almost as good as having a nice warm body next to you. Almost. However, last winter, I ran into a real scare with my Esper heating system. It just stopped working. For 2 weeks in January, I could not figure out what was wrong with it. It was too cold to go outside, get under the van, take it apart, do any of that nonsense. It turned out it was a faulty fuel pump. So if you're gonna get an Esper or a Webasto or one of those Chinese diesel heaters on Amazon that are much cheaper, you might wanna get an extra fuel pump they seem to be the first things to go with those things. But what saved my life during that 2-week period was this. My little buddy, or Mr. Buddy, one of those two space heaters. It runs on those green propane tanks. Now, if you're gonna use something like this, make sure you have a carbon monoxide detector. You also want it at head level, not like on the ceiling or anything. You're also gonna wanna crack open your roof vent a little bit. This puts a lot of moisture into the air, and it's gonna try to escape through the highest point. So you wanna get that out of the van so you don't deal with rust and mold. But in a clutch, you don't wanna be cold inside the van. You need a plan B. I swear by these things. They're also kind of fun, having a little fire inside your van. Just be safe with them, you know what I mean? I also have a plan C. I have a good old-fashioned electronic space heater that I keep right back here, not gonna dig it out. I plug it into my battery, or sometimes I plug it into my Jackery. It can blow hot air for about 2 hours before it peters out. That might be enough to like heat up the van and keep me alive. I think it's super important to have a main heating system that runs on gas or diesel, a backup heating system, I recommend the Little Buddy, and a third heating system just in case the first two fail, because trust me, you do not want to be cold inside the van. It sucks. There's something else that really doesn't want to get cold in your van. That's your battery bank. My second winter in here, I woke up at 3 in the morning to a weird beeping sound. Turns out it was my low voltage alarm in my battery monitor. My battery bank had lost so much charge due to the cold weather. I think anyone who's owned an EV or used a phone outside knows how poor they charge, like maintain a charge in cold weather. Yeah, and this had gotten down so low that my heater stopped working, wasn't getting a high enough voltage. I had to jump into the cabin and run the car's engine for like an hour. It sucked. I've figured out a hack of dealing with that in my second winter. I got one of those USB powered blankets that run on a little 12-volt charger. They can plug into like the lighter outlet in a car or in a Jackery battery, which is how I do it. I wrap it around my battery bank right here, which is kind of like right next to my bed. It doesn't have to be tight, just get it around the sides. Now it has a very low power draw. We're talking like 12 volts, maybe like 2 amps the entire time. And I leave that running while I'm out, like not in the van. Ever since I've been doing that, I did it all winter long. I come back here and I've lost almost no charge in my battery. That one little hack of wrapping a warm heated blanket around my batteries has made a huge impact on maintaining charge in the van. I recommend doing that. I'll throw a link to the blanket I got below, but I'm sure there are a bunch of others on Amazon. January 18th is statistically the coldest day of the year here in Boston, and the 2 weeks before and after it I call the pit. It's a period where the temperature might never go above freezing the entire time, by far the most trying time of van life, but you can use that to your advantage. I mentioned the last time about preserving draw in your battery. What I do during that period is turn off my fridge when I'm in the van. I'll take all the contents out, put it in a plastic bag, put it inside the driver's side seat, outside the van, underneath the van, and I'll pull down my sun visor here, which has a red F on it. So in the morning when I wake up and get in the driver's seat, I don't like drive away without, forgetting that I have food outside. By doing that, I can turn off my fridge basically the entire winter for like a month at a time, which saves me a ton of power. I just started doing that last winter. It's kind of like a key ingredient in saving charge at this point in my van life. Any way that you can keep your batteries warm and cut off unnecessary electrical usage in your van that you can think of, do it. I think it should go without saying when it comes to your car, you need winter tires. I've seen some craziness on the roads here in New England. I got these AT4Ws by Falcon Tire that have a super wide tread. They grip the road like nothing else. You don't have to get that extreme. Just make sure you get winter tires. Man, this jacket is getting really warm. Look at that. It's blue now. Isn't that cool? You may notice the thing right here on my KEMI MOTO jacket turned blue. This is the switch for controlling the heat. You hold it down once a long time to get red, which is the hottest. Click it a second time for blue, which is medium warmth, and then a third time for green, which is low warmth. This thing gets like so warm. I've been running it for over an hour and it's still at 90% battery. I want to see how warm this thing gets. I also noticed it has these cool hand warmers inside that you can warm up your fingertips with. This vest is a really cool hack. I wish the instructions were a little clearer. I almost cut the thing with scissors to connect the cord. Glad I didn't. But this jacket is super cool. It's by a company called KEMI MOTO. Like I said, if you guys want to get one, I highly recommend it. You can get a discount right now. I have a discount code in the link below. I want to see how long this thing lasts and kind of like touch base on that at the end of the video. So right now, I'm going to go in here and do some editing. I'll talk to you guys again in a bit. So I did some editing, did some shopping, been wearing this vest the whole time, this KEMI MOTO heated vest on green, which is the middle heat. I've had it on for 7 hours and 12 minutes, and it's at 14% battery life. That's pretty good. I can make it last longer than that if I take it down to the lowest heat level. But this thing is pretty awesome. It definitely checks off all the boxes. This is something like I honestly can't see myself going without now. As someone with low body fat who hates the cold, this is pretty cool. All the stuff I recommended in my video today is all stuff I personally use. The RIXEN heating system, the Little Buddy space heater, that North Face jacket, that heated blanket that goes around my batteries. I'll try to put the links for everything down below. For this jacket, you also got a discount code. Like I said, that'll be in the description below. I think they have a Black Friday deal, so this Friday would be the time to buy. Anyway, for all the people out there living in their vehicles in the winter, mad respect. I'm just trying to prepare you guys for what to expect and my experience. Thanks for watching. Peace out.